So we've all gathered that the fairy tale life of this dunya, the fairy tale life that our Muslim girls are chasing, there can never be a happily ever after ending to it. We see that in these fairy tale life there's always a tragic ending, there is always a sad ending, and it's because of the path that they have chosen. But my dear sisters, it's not all dull and gloomy, it's not all sad. There is a possibility, there is a chance that we could have that happily ever after ending. We could live a true fairy tale life. That is a possibility. We could have a happy ending to this story of our life. Indeed, my dear sisters, our life is like a book. It's like a storybook. There is good, there is bad, there are good people, there are bad people, there are villains, there are heroes. But to end our story, to end the story of our life in a good way, it comes at a cost. It comes at a price. All you need to do, my dear sisters, all you need to do is take a moment. Take a moment and remind yourself of who you are. Who you are. Ask yourself who you are, what your purpose is, and why you're here and where are you going. You know, we need to ask ourselves this question. So who are you, my dear sisters? Remind yourself who you are. Who are you? You, my dear sisters, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in it or not, whether you admit it or not, you are a slave. All of us here, we are all slaves. Every one of us here, we are all slaves. And the master is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We belong to Him, my dear sisters. Every one of us belong to Him. The whole of us, this body of ours, it belongs to Allah. The whole of it belongs to Allah. This body that we spend so much hours to correct, to perfect, to beautify, it belongs to Allah. It doesn't even belong to us. We don't own ourselves, my dear sisters. And what is our purpose in life? For what reason are you here? For what reason have you been created? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah did not create the jinn and the mankind except that they should worship Him. That is your purpose in life, my dear sisters. That is your reason for existence. You are here because of Allah. You are in existence because of Allah. You are not here. Allah did not put you here for yourself. You are not here for yourself. You are not here for your parents, or your father, or your mother, or your husbands, or your children, or your friends, or your family. No, you are here for the sake of Allah. That is your purpose in life. And do we not think that where will we end up? Where are we going? Where will our end be? Where is our destination? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong and to Him is our return. We came from Allah and to Him we will go back. That is our final destination. So do you see, my dear sisters, our whole entire life, it revolves around Allah. Allah, He is the one who is running the show. He is the one who wrote our story, the story of our life. And He is the only one that could give us a good and happy ending to our story. So we just need to understand. We just need to understand this, and we just need to recognize our Lord. We just need to understand our purpose in life. That Allah created us to worship Him, to follow Him, to obey Him. You know, that everything is in His control. Everything is in His hands. And when you understand this, my dear sisters, when you understand this, you will do whatever you can to please Him. You will do whatever that you can to make Him happy. You will do whatever you can to gain His love. It's just like a child in a school. You know, when a child wants to be in the golden book, or he wants to be the student of the year, or he wants to, you know, get some reward or some privileges, he would please his teacher. He will do whatever he can to make his teacher happy. Just like that, my dear sisters, if you understand that everything is in the hands of Allah, everything is in the control of Allah, you will do whatever you can to please Him, to make Him happy. And when this becomes your sole goal, when this becomes your sole aim, to seek the pleasure of Allah, you will be prepared to make all the sacrifices that you need to make. All of a sudden, my dear sisters, you will find that you are making the sacrifices in life. You will find that you are becoming like those before us, those pious, righteous people before us who were ready and prepared to make the greatest of sacrifice. You will find yourself becoming like those, the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat, like the likes of Mus'ab ibn Umair. This man, my dear sisters, he had everything. The dunya was chasing him. The dunya was after him. Yet he left everything behind. He had everything that you are chasing. He had the wealth. He had the status. He had the looks. He was known to be the most eligible man at that time. He would wear the finest of clothes. He would wear the best of perfume. He was every girl's desire. You know, subhanAllah, if you like, he was the Prince Charming of his time. Like I said, the dunya was chasing him, but he threw it behind him. He threw the dunya behind him, and he let go of it. He sacrificed all of that for the sake of Allah. He sacrificed all of that. Anybody will call that madness. Anybody will call that crazy. To let go of the luxury and the wealth and the comfort of this dunya. Anybody will say that is madness. But for him, that was pure love for the sake of Allah. For him, it was pure ibadah for the sake of Allah. This man who was once the richest man at that time, who was so wealthy, at the time it is said that at the time of his death, they didn't have enough cloth to shroud him. At the time of his death, subhanAllah, he sacrificed everything for the sake of Allah. You know, when Iman had entered into his heart, when he had tasted the sweetness of Iman, he was ready to make all the sacrifices. And because of the sacrifice he made, Allah would replace all the things that he lost in this dunya with the Jannah. With the Jannah, my dear sisters, the Jannah, which is a true fairy tale world. You know, it is a true fairy tale life, where you will get your true happily ever after ending. But you see, you know, for him, in order for him to achieve that, he had to make those sacrifices. He could not have achieved that unless he made those sacrifices. So indeed, my dear sister, if we want that happily ever after ending, if we want a similar ending, we too need to make the sacrifices in our time. We need to make sacrifices in our effort, in our time, in our wealth, in our comfort, in our ease, even in our career or in our job. If there's anything that comes in your way between you and Allah, if there is anything that is like an obstacle between you and Allah, then you need to sacrifice it, my dear sisters. The key to success is sacrifice. The more you are prepared to sacrifice for the sake of Allah, the more it will please Allah. And the more you are pleasing Allah, the more you are likely to have your happily ever after ending. So once you are ready to make that sacrifice, once you are prepared to make that sacrifice, be sure, my dear sisters, that you will have that fairy tale life that you are looking for. You will have that fairy tale world that you are looking for. That fairy tale world is waiting for you, my dear sisters. The Jannah is waiting for all of us. And what can I tell you, my dear sisters, about this world? What can I tell you about the Jannah? There are not enough words to describe to you about this world. There is not enough words to describe to you about this wonderful land. It is beyond our imagination, my dear sisters. It is indeed a land of fantasy, but the only difference is it is real, it is true, and it is haq. But it's absolutely amazing. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in a hadith Qudsi, He said, I have prepared for my righteous servants what no eyes has seen, no ears have heard, nor has it occurred to the human heart. Subhanallah, my dear sisters, the Jannah, this true fairy tale world, is beyond our imagination. This is the place you want to be, my dear sisters. This is the fairy tale life that you should be chasing. The Jannah, my dear sisters, is a place where you'll find all the happiness that you can think of, all the comfort, the ease, the luxury, the glamour that we are chasing after, the glitz that we are chasing after. You'll find it in Jannah. You know, you'll be living in palaces, not house, not a home, not a crib. You'll be living in palaces, my dear sisters, and you'll be the queen of your castle indeed. And these palaces, my dear sisters, is no ordinary palaces. These castles are no ordinary castles. You know, you think an 8-bedroom or a 9-bedroom is like, wow, amazing, it's luxury. But subhanallah, my dear sisters, if you hear about the castle in Jannah, it will make you speechless. The castle of Jannah will make Buckingham Palace look like a tent. Because indeed, you will have a palace that has 70 rooms, and one room, it will take you years to cross. Subhanallah, my dear sisters. This is what Allah has in store for you. That is what He has prepared for you. A true fairy tale world. And these castles, my dear sisters, they're not made of bricks. You know, they're not made of what you see in this dunya. They are made of gold and silver. And the cement is musk. And the floor, the earth that you walk, the pebbles and the stones, they are emerald and rubies. Subhanallah. The jewels in this dunya that we wear around our necks, it will be beneath our feet on Jannah. Subhanallah, my dear sisters. You know, as strange as it might sound, you know, it may be beyond our understanding. You know, it may sound so surreal. But no doubt, my dear sisters, this is real. You cannot doubt it. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised for us, a true fairy tale world for us. And you will have all the luxuries that you can think of, my dear sisters. Everything that a girl wants, you know what a girl wants, everything, you will have it. What do we girls want? We love our fashion, we love our clothes. You've heard of Gucci, Armani, Louis Vuitton. You have heard of all the designer wear. But my dear sisters, you will have all of that and much, much, much more. Everything you desire, you will get it. We love to beautify ourselves, jewelry and diamonds. They say a diamond is a girl's best friend. We will have all of that, my dear sisters, and much more. Subhanallah, it's hard for you to comprehend, but it's true. It might sound funny, it might sound weird, but Allah has prepared for you a tree in Jannah, and that tree, its trunk is made of gold, and its roots are emerald. And what does it produce? Not fruits, not flowers, not apples. It produces clothes. It might sound so strange, but it's true. You want to wear the latest fashion clothes. You literally picking it off the tree. Subhanallah, my dear sisters. This is what Allah has prepared for you. In Jannah, all your wish will come true. Everything you want will come true, my dear sisters. In Jannah, there's no stress, no worry. Your beauty will be outstanding. Your beauty will be beyond our imagination. It will be absolutely amazing. Let's just put it that way. If you were to gather all the models of this dunya, all the beautiful people of this dunya, the models, the supermodels, the Miss Worlds and the Miss Universe, and if you were to put them all together, your beauty in Jannah will no doubt outweigh it by far. That's how beautiful you will be, my dear sisters. That is what Allah has in store for us. A true fairy tale world, my dear sisters. And you, with a true happily ever after ending that we are so in search for. Allah knows what us as human, what we desire, what we want, and that is what Allah would give us, and He will give us the best of the best. So no doubt Allah has prepared for us, and He has promised for us a true fairy tale world that has a happy ending. And the amazing thing is, it's real. It's not a myth, it's not fake, it's real, my dear sisters, and it is forever. It is for eternity, where there will be no pain, there will be no sadness, no tears, no jealousy, no villain. It will just be complete happiness, complete bliss, a true happily ever after ending. And this is what Allah has prepared for us, His servants who remain steadfast, who remain straight on the path, who avoid the traps of shaitan, who avoid the traps of the dunya. For you, my dear sisters, Allah has prepared a good and happy ending. So to all the Red Riding Hoods who don't get off track, who don't disobey Allah, who don't go off track, for them Allah has prepared Jannah. For all the Rapunzels out there who don't get tangled in this dunya, who don't get tangled by the freedom, for them Allah has prepared Jannah. And just as a conclusion, my dear sisters, I just want to remind you that Alhamdulillah, all of you guys are sitting here. There's a reason why you're here. Your iman dragged you here, isn't it, my dear sisters? Your love for Allah brought you here. There's a reason why Allah made you a Muslim. There's a reason why Allah chose you to be a Muslim. To save you from the hellfire, to save you from the torment of hellfire, to give you that happily ever after ending. Allah didn't make you, my dear sisters. Allah didn't make you Beyonce. Allah didn't make you Cheryl Cole. Allah didn't make you Kate Middleton, a princess. Allah didn't make you any of these people, and Alhamdulillah, Allah didn't make us any of them, because Allah made us far better. Allah made us far honored. Allah made you a Muslim, my dear sisters. And you might think, what's the big deal of being a Muslim? Being a Muslim doesn't bring me fame, it doesn't bring me the glamour, it doesn't bring me the luxury, it doesn't give me the fun and enjoyment that I want to enjoy. But let's get one thing straight, my dear sisters. I'm sure you have gathered today that the only way to success, the only way to have that happily ever after ending, that happy ending, is by being a Muslim. There's no doubt about it, my dear sisters. That is the only way that we could achieve that success. So be grateful to Allah, my dear sisters. Be grateful that you are sitting here today and you are listening to the deen of Allah as a Muslim. He could have so easily made you a non-Muslim. Isn't that right? You could have been so easily a non-Muslim, heading your way towards the hellfire, your path towards hellfire. But no, Allah chose you to be a Muslim. So don't take it for granted, my dear sisters. Don't take advantage of it. Spend every single second that you have in obedience to Allah. Spend every second that you have in pleasing Allah. Live your life like those before you, my dear sisters. those who have already attained that success, those who have already attained that happily ever after ending, who have already had, who are already on their way to tasting that fairy tale life. Live your life like them. Live your life like the Sahaba and the Sahabiyat who made the sacrifices of this dunya. Take them as your example and take them as your role models. And let us sacrifice like them, like Khadija, like Aisha, like Fatima, like Asma, who are well on the way towards the Jannah. And that is the way you will have your happily ever after ending. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله بالعالمين.